Listen, Spadoni, after Draymond Green did what he did yesterday,
absolutely incredible.
You know what? We'll play what happened. We'll play what happened.
Just do it.
Just play it. Third quarter. Warriors up 4.
I need to hear some Tim Roy in my life.
Love me, Big John. When you got a chance here, producing on the fly. Draymond Green got ejected from his third game yesterday, and he caught face with the slap. He said he was trying to sell a foul. So Draymond Green, mid-third quarter, Warriors about 7:35 left. They're up 68-64. And Draymond Green said he was trying to sell a foul.
They've been controlling the game up to this point.
Controlling the game.
Yes.
He's trying to sell a foul. And his arms.
Now we get a whistle. It's an offensive foul. No. Who's the foul on? They're going to review it. It might be on Draymond for an offensive foul, and Nurkic is face down on the floor. They got tangled up, and Draymond might have popped him one in the chops. The coaching staff coming down. The security guys are coming down, and they're going to review this. This call and review.
Ow! After video review, Green makes unnecessary and excessive contact to the face. The foul has been upgraded to a flagrant foul penalty 2, and Green has been ejected from the game.
Just what we thought. Draymond got ejected, and he will jog off to the locker room with 8:23 to go in the third.
So 65-68, 23 left in the game. Here's what Steve Kerr said about the ejection.
Yeah, we need him. We need Draymond, but he knows that. We talked to him, and he's got to find a way to keep his poise and be out there for his teammates.
All right, Draymond, what was the reason on why you got ejected?
He was pulling my hip, and I was swinging away to sell the call, made contact with him. As you know, I'm not one to apologize for things I meant to do, but I do apologize to you, sir. Because I didn't intend to hit him. I sell calls with my arms. I don't fall to sell a call. I don't not flop it. So I was just selling the call because he was grabbing me and pulling my hip. So I spun away, and unfortunately I hit him. So like I said, I apologize to you, sir, because I didn't intend to.
So that's Draymond Green's explanation. Are you buying this, Spadoni?
No.
You buying it?
I've heard this 50 times the last decade. What are we doing here? Sooner or later, like Steve Kerr, and he was extra short yesterday with the media.
Very short. It's the shortest I've ever heard him.
Like, he was just doing this past week. We need Draymond Green.
Selling a call.
Selling a call.
5. You're 5. Spadoni, I don't even have the energy anymore to yell about it, kick and scream, rant, whatever. I'm exhausted from it. I'm officially exhausted from what's happening with Draymond Green. He knows he's on a tightrope. He knows that the referees are looking for him. Anything that he does that comes close to a flagrant, they're going to review it. He has a bullseye on his back, and he's to blame to have the bullseye on his back, whether he likes it or not.
And the problem is that you've tied yourself with this guy now financially. You need him to win a title. That is a fact. You are not winning another title without Draymond Green at this point because you tied yourself to him. The problem is, though, he's becoming more and more a liability every single week.
Every single week.
And sooner or later, the losses are going to pile up. You're 10-13 now. What if it becomes 10-14 against the Clippers? And then you're digging out of a hole. And you know what? It's the same as last season. And that's not good enough.
And guess what happened last season?
You didn't advance. You lost.
But what happened before the season?
Well, you punched
Which wrecked the season.
You punched a guy in the face.
And now he's gone and he got scapegoated.
Yep.
So I don't want to hear anybody scapegoating Jordan Poole anymore.
No.
I know Jordan Poole's flaws, but don't come scapegoat.
He's in Washington. I don't give a damn about what Jordan Poole is doing.
This is the so-called heart and soul of the team. Heart and soul of the team, the leader of the team. And in 11 of the 23 games, he's either missed due to an ankle injury, which he missed the first 2 games of the season. He missed the Denver game due to personal reasons. He got kicked out of the next game against Cleveland. He started talking trash to Anthony Edwards on that Sunday, got blown out by Minnesota. Then he got kicked out. Not even 2 minutes into the game, he got kicked out of the Gobert game, choked him out, got suspended for 5. So in 11 of the 23 games, Draymond has either been ejected, missed the games, been suspended, or been out due to personal reasons. And you know what? Enough's enough. I don't have the energy to even yell about it, Spadoni. I'm exhausted. I'm exasperated. You see it happen yesterday. As soon as it happened, I'll go, boy, look what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Look at what, I guess we could talk Brock Purdy. But this is the story right now with the Golden State Warriors as they're floundering. They're 4-11 after a 6-2 start. And there's no end in sight. They've blown 4 straight games on the road in which they've led by double digits. Yesterday, they led by 13. Friday night, they led by 14. Against the Clippers the Saturday before, they led by 22. Against the Sacramento Kings, they led by 24. They're just blowing leads. That's the 6th game this season. They've blown a game in which they've led by double digits.
When's the last time we spoke positively about the Golden State Warriors?
It's been a while.
After the Nuggets loss?
After the Nuggets loss.
After a loss is when we were talking positively about them. Like, that's where we're at. This is Stephen Curry's team. Top 10 player, one of the greatest players of all time.
Right.
The greatest shooter in the history of the NBA.
And you know what?
One of the biggest names in sports. And we're talking about Draymond Green's antics.
And he's not the only issue.
And Andrew Wiggins.
And Klay Thompson.
It's Kevon Looney. Like,
That's the 4 other starters combined for 12
starting lineup.
points.
That's the entire starting lineup.
Steph scored 24, and he doubled up the other 4 starters.
Oh, my God.
You know, the bench has been really good this year.
Oh.
But a lot of these bench players won't be benching anytime soon because you know what? Kuminga's probably starting on Thursday.
Needs to. I need his
and you
size.
know what? Klay Thompson, he took it on the chin yesterday, but he may need to come off the bench too. So you got a Klay problem. And I know Klay's in his head because of the contract and the money, and he's pressing. Andrew Wiggins, what the hell is going on with him? What is going on with Andrew Wiggins? So I know what's going on with Klay. Klay just looks old. His legs don't move. He can't get open. He can't dribble. I know what the problem is with Klay Thompson. Now, can you fix it? Probably not. You just got to live with it.
I can live with that as a fan, just knowing what, and also the legacy of Klay Thompson as well. I can live with that. You know what? It might just be time for Klay. And you know what? That sucks. And the realization, and he might be feeling it now too. You hear him talking after games, the frustration, it's boiling over on the court. It might just be time there. But with Wiggins, this was supposed to be your centerpiece for the future, Vontae.
He's supposed to be your second best player.
Supposed to be the guy after Steph too. And nothing after Steph, but he's your second best player, right? And now the defense isn't there. The offense sure as hell isn't there. He's giving me nothing. Moody.
Nothing.
Insert Moody for me. For the love of God.
Moody's playing well. Kuminga's playing well. But here's the thing, and we discussed this last week. If you go to the youth movement and you play the youth, you're basically saying we're not competing for a championship. We're basically trying to learn how to win games with this new group. And you got to somehow, some way fix it with the veterans. Because you're not a championship team right now. And if you do make this move, there's going to be bumps in the road. And I asked this last week, Spadoni, and I asked the fans again. How much patience are you willing to exhibit with the youth? How much patience are you willing to accept that, hey, there's going to be bumps in the roads with Moses Moody. There's going to be some cringeworthy moments with Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski. Are you willing to live with that? Because at this point I am. I'm tired of seeing the same old, same old.
Yes, I can live with that, but the patience will only be there until it starts affecting one man's legacy.
Yeah.
That's Stephen Curry. The patience between the fan base and all the fans around the world, locally, global, whatever. Steph is the franchise. And when you start messing with his legacy, and he's playing the best basketball, some of the best in his entire career right now, and you see what's around him, you know what the conversation would be like? Any other superstar, whether it's LeBron, whether it's Jordan, whether it's Kobe, whatever. This guy needs to win. It's about his legacy at this point.
Well,
I can't have these people around him affecting that.
Well, his legacy is cemented.
But I'm saying,
but to get that next ring, to get that's how you end. You don't want to end like Kobe.
No, you
Rest
don't.
in peace, Kobe. But Kobe didn't make the playoffs. What, the last 5 years?
Correct. And you saw what went on around him. He had to shoulder the load of other. Steve Nash, he was brought in. He was aging. He was done. Dwight Howard, that didn't work out. But he had to shoulder the load until it ended up costing him his Achilles and his career at that point. And Stephen Curry right now is shouldering the load of this team.
Yes.
And it's
not
good. He's already dealt with injuries in the past. I don't want to see another one.
It's not good.
It's not.
And he didn't play great yesterday.
No,
he was
didn't.
8 of 24, 4-15 from the three-point line. They lost to the Suns in 7 of their last 8 contests in the regular season. But lineup changes. Kerr was asked again about it. Here's what Steve Kerr said last night.
I have no idea. I mean, honestly, we were just trying to win the game tonight, and we were struggling with some of the lineups out there, and we made the decision. I made the decision at halftime to put a different lineup out there. Felt good about it, but we obviously did not follow through and play a very good second half.
All right, Tim Roy on the call. Listen to this cut by Tim Roy last night.
Now the Warriors not only looking at losing Draymond for this game, but now when you take into account the way they're handing out suspensions based on past action, will Draymond be suspended for the Clipper game? Or maybe the Clipper game, Brooklyn, Portland. This is just a tough moment here for Golden State.
A tough moment. Let's go to the lines, Fidoni. The lines are lit up here. Let's go to Carlos in the city. Carlos, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, guys. Good morning. This might be a hot take. This might be a hot take. I've been saying about this for the last 2 weeks. It might be time to just blow this team up. And when I'm saying blow this up, I know we have a Draymond issue, a Clay issue, a Wiggins issue. I'm even thinking we might have a Steve Kerr issue just because the last 2 years, I think he's just been an average coach. And I know we're trying to the legacy of Steph. It's just at this point, if we just keep running the same line or having the same players, we're not helping that legacy either. I'm not sure if you guys feel the same way or not. And even for me, it's hard for me to even say let Draymond go, but I've gone to that point at this because of last night's actions.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have gone there before last night's actions. A lot of people have already been there. But at this point,
what is blowing it up?
Blowing it up is trading the core. Blowing it up is Wiggins, Clay, Dre, CP3, and Looney. What do you do with those guys?
Yeah. I mean, I think you're tied to Draymond Green. I don't know what his value is outside of this franchise right now. So you're probably tied to him. Clay, you played this season out, then he's gone. CP3, gone. Wiggins is going to be an interesting one because his value is at an all-time low, too. What are you getting for him if he's going to continue to play like this? Who would want him? That's what I'm saying.
Because there's going to be questions about him missing 2 months last season.
And his love of the game.
Whether it was personal or not, other teams are going to ask about that. They're going to inquire about why did you leave?
Looney, I don't
what
think,
happened? Looney,
she's not giving me anything outside of this franchise, I don't think. And people aren't valuing him around the league like the Warriors are valuing him. So then you go with the young guys, which you alluded to earlier.
It doesn't look like Looney's in shape.
No.
It doesn't look like he's running well at all.
Didn't even attempt a field goal last night.
Yeah, it was in 11 minutes.
God.
On one field goal attempt.
Come on.
Need a big. So I don't know what you do. I'm honestly, Spadoni, this morning I'm exhausted from Draymond Green.
I understand.
I just don't know. I don't have the energy to get all irate about Draymond Green, and I understand the fans getting irate, and you can call in 888-957-9570 if you are. It's just, again, we need you on the court. We discuss you all the time. When you're on the court, you're playing some damn good basketball. He is. Now, he had the bad foul against Chet, the end of regulation.
Horrible. He had some horrible turnovers
in that game, which is not acceptable.
The turnovers yesterday aren't even close, Bonte.
That's the veterans.
He's throwing it like into the stands multiple times yesterday. I was like, what are we doing? I just wasted possessions. You can't waste possessions when you're playing this poorly.
You foul Chet. You're gambling for it still in that situation, which you shouldn't be. You're gambling for it still. You missed that, and then you foul Chet in the shooting motion. He hits all three. You turn the ball over. You commit back. When is enough? But yet, you got the contract with him and Wiggins for the next 4 years. At least Clay's got the expiring contract. So I can move. There's only 4 months of that left of bad shooting and not having good legs. And I love Klay Thompson more than anybody at the station. But it don't look good. But at least I know, okay, there's an end date. Draymond Green and Wiggins are going to be here through, if they don't get traded, they're going to be here through 2027, 28.
Do we want that?
I don't know.
That's the thing, too. And I'm looking at the season right now, Bonte. Didn't mean for the dramatic silence there, but it kind of is. The silence is deafening with the Golden State Warriors right now with how quiet they're being after the game like last night. They're the 11th seed currently. They're 10-13. They're, 2.5 back from the Pelicans, who are the 10th seed. They're flirting with fire right here because this is a crucial stretch in the season. Couple games you can make up here or there. It starts getting to 5, 6, and then it's feeling a lot like last year. You're playing catch up, and then at that point you're switching to the young guys and you're expecting wins, and then everyone's going to be upset because they're not winning. It's a slippery slope here.
And you still play the Lakers 4 times?
Yeah, you haven't even played them at all this year.
Haven't played them yet. You got to play Denver another 3 times or 2 times.
Play them on Christmas
in Denver in a Mile High City. Altitude's going to be a factor. I mean, there's no gimmies on the schedule.
No.
So the hell we're looking at the Blazers saying, okay, that's a win. No.
Even the
They
worst
struggled
team-
against the Blazers.
Struggle against the Spurs. Like, what are we doing here? The worst team in the league.
It's not good right now, folks. Sean in Oakland. Sean, what's happening?
What's going on, y'all?
What's going on, Sean?
Look, man, this has been an ongoing situation for years. And the only time that I had Draymond back was a situation when LeBron stepped over him in the playoffs. The other time when Mitchell Gobert was doing a little bit too much. He keeps shooting himself in the foot. And I'm tired of looking at it. And that whole situation last night was ridiculous. And he talking about he trying to sell a foul. What foul are you selling? It looked like a Hulk Hogan slap to the chest. It don't make no sense to me. Like, I don't understand why Curry is still toggling this thing. Like, just, Draymond trying to explain himself every time for this guy. If he was he was dealing with Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson, something like that, he'll get told on. But right now, Steph need to check him. And I don't blame Steph if he pissed off right now or how he's feeling, because I know he's tired of it, but he's so like the babyface assassin, and he don't want to ruffle feathers and stuff. But it's time to ruffle some feathers. It's time. I'm tired of seeing it. So something need to happen.
Some needs
I don't know if that's in his DNA. I don't know if that's in his DNA.
You know what the worst part is that 16 days ago when Draymond came off his suspension, he said, look, I got to be better at this and that. But more importantly, before the season, he said it was the most important season of his career. The most important season of his career. And in 23 games, in the first 23 games of the season.
I think he was talking about his hashtag new media.
New media.
He wasn't talking about his play on the court.
I mean, seriously. 23 games in, and in 11 of the games in the most important season of his career, he's been either kicked out, not playing, out due to personal reasons, or ejected. In the most important season of his career.
Absolutely incredible.
It is incredible. It is. And he's got 3.5 years left on the contract.
They made their bed, and they're going to lie in it.
They're going to have to sleep in it. Yeah,
they're going. That's the rat on the table. Brought to you by Echo. All right, that's the rat on the table.
Let's go to Alex in Atlanta. Alex, what's happening?
Oh, another day, gentlemen. Another Draymond Green suspension incoming.
Oh,
no, I mean, watching the game last night, there are positives to take away, and I know people probably don't want to hear that this morning because Draymond's going to take up all the headlines, but the bench played great again. And I will credit Steve Kerr where credit is due. He was finally willing to say, all right, my starters aren't playing well. I'm going to bench my starters for the rest of this game or for the majority of this game. I mean, your bench is leading the league in bench rebounds this year, so that's a positive. Your bench is the second highest scoring bench in the league this year, I think only behind Orlando. So that's a positive. But a lot of the problems that were with the team last year, taking too many threes, they took 46 again last night, I think it was. That was half their shot attempts came from three. They're only shooting 15th in the league in terms of three-point percentage.
Yep.
They're really abysmal when it comes to shooting inside the arc. They're 25th in the league. They're shooting 52%. The turnovers were better last night. I will credit them with that as well. I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that the young guys were on the floor. And when you have the young guys out there, Kerr runs a less complicated offensive system. It's a lot less motion and off-the-ball movement and more simple pick and rolls and split action. So I like that. But, I mean, the turnovers have been a problem for this team since Steve Kerr got there. They've been in the bottom 5 in the league in turnovers for the last 3 years, and they're in the bottom 5 in the league in turnovers this year as well. So that's not something that's going to change anytime soon as long as Steve Kerr wants to keep running the standard offensive system he wants to have. I mean, heck, your starting 5 that you normally see, Looney, Wiggs, Dre, Clay, and Steph, they average 11 turnovers a game between the 5 of them. So I'm hoping to see in the game against the Clippers, I'm hoping to see a starting lineup that looks something like Dario Saric, Jonathan Kuminga, Steph Curry, Chris Paul, and Moses Moody. That's what I would love to see as your starting 5. You got a good mix of veteran leadership in that starting 5. You got explosive youth. You got perimeter shooting. You got everything you want there. I think that anyone not named Steph Curry that's a veteran should be on the trade block at this point.
Yeah.
I know that you're probably going to have trouble getting high value for Andrew Wiggins. If you're going to move him and you want to get a good piece in return, you're probably going to have to take on a bad expiring contract as well.
Yep.
That's just the reality of the situation.
Yep.
I don't know what team on earth takes Draymond Green at this point, because not only is it the price tag, it's the behavior. If the price tag was low, you could deal with the behavior problems, but no one's going to want to take on $25 million.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, I think it was a good bit of gamesmanship by the Kings over the summer. Feigning interest in Draymond Green drove up his price with Golden State, so they ended up probably overpaying him. And the last thing I'll say, guys, is in regards to Kevon Looney, I agree with you. He's looking slow. He's looking beat up. You guys got to remember, he played power forward in college.
Yeah.
You know, he was primarily a number 4 when he was in college. He was slotted into the center role because he sets screens well. He can defend at an above-average rate on the perimeter, and he rebounds well. So Steve Kerr said, well, I can't play him at the 4. We have Draymond Green. I'm going to play him at the 5. And I think playing him out of position for so long, you know, he's had the hip injuries. It's just catching up to him.
No, it is.
And he's not a starting center in the NBA anymore.
He's a role player.
Thanks, Alex.
And good call, Alex. The Warriors also, when he threw out all those numbers, and he's right. Look at the field goal percentage, the field goals made per game. The Warriors are 23rd in the league when it comes to field goals made per game. When it comes to shooting percentage, they're 25th in the league, as you said. They're also last when it comes to points in the paint. So they don't even get easy buckets, Spinoni.
No. Well, nothing's easy for them right now. That's the thing. Watching it, it feels like a grind.
It does.
Whereas the peak Warriors basketball that we all grew up watching this last decade, it's been, you know, fast, attention to detail, quick, running up the floor. So many times I'm watching this game where things are going well until they aren't. And then you look up, wow, you have a double-digit lead against the Suns, and then it dissipates because you make a change that you didn't mean to make.